First, I'm going to talk about tracking success. In this first session, I'm actually a stand-in for Josh Daniels, who unfortunately has had an emergency and can't be with us. Luckily, Josh and I think very, very alike about these things, so it should be relatively easy for me to speak to his slides. Basically, as the Filecoin ecosystem has evolved, we've definitely moved from a point where we've been doing sort of a lot of MVP work and building out the core of the Filecoin network to getting to a point where we're like really building on that and working out how to take that to market and get ourselves into a point where we are really building for client success, which is what the track is all about. And what that involves is really going out to the market, really getting to understand what the storage marketplace is like, what the different elements and what the different types of clients are out there, and doing continuous market research. We've been doing quite a lot of this, since mainnet launch, in terms of talking to specific potential partners and potential clients. And we really need to get to a point now where we're going to formalize that a bit more by doing continuous market research. We've also, and Jen will talk to you about this a lot more later on, we're building and refining ideal client or ideal customer profiles. Some of this, which is figuring out like which market segments are really great customers for Filecoin, and then working out what messaging, what properties, what functionality we really need to go and target them. And then also, which goes hand in hand with that, is looking at what the competitors are offering, figuring out where we do better than the competitors, figuring out where we are not doing as well as the competitors, and also doing gap analysis to figure out where there are opportunities that maybe both sides are not addressing. So these things all roll up into one, and basically it involves doing a lot of continuous market research. From that, we've kind of got a bunch of minimal viable products, which is a really good building block, and they're driving us towards what Josh says is like early validation. Like we've been out there for a while, proving that that there's demand for Filecoin and that people want to use it. And now it's really about taking that to a sort of much more productized and refined and differentiated proposition in the marketplace that people want to buy. How do you get to that? Community and user feedback. People have often hear me say, like, let's iterate and then iterate again. And that means basically that market research. It means doing lots of user observation. It means like really listening to customers and figuring out where their pain points are and where their challenges are, and then using that to build and refine the product. So that involves qualitative and quantitative signals, regular community user and pulse checks relating to product changes, listening to customer service, which is actually a really great source of features and feedback on the features that you have, tracking just the core quantitative metrics, daily average users, monthly average users, conversion rates through the on-ramp websites or through our own websites or through actually even the tools themselves, leading to getting to estimates of lifetime customer value. So how much data, in an e-commerce world, this would be dollars, but in our case, I think it's initially it's like how much data will a typical customer upload to the Filecoin network over a 5-year period, and then looking at what the flip side of that is figuring out what your customer acquisition cost is, which is basically how much money do you need to spend to get an average customer. And that could be quite high at the beginning, but what you want to see is that over time, that average customer acquisition cost goes down, because what you're starting to see is organic growth, which is coming from people recommending the great product that you have to their friends. And like it suddenly means that not every customer is one you're having to buy. It's important when doing this, and again, as soon as you see the word agile, I'm going to be happy, that we remain flexible and we innovate as much as possible. Strong opinions loosely held. I have lots of opinions. If you don't like them, they can change. But it really helps to like not be too attached to previous iterations of what you've done if it turns out that they aren't quite necessarily the right path, and to be able to move on to the next thing.